When we get calls from the White House or we get calls from Capitol Hill and invited to go talk to these people, do you know why? It's because of you. They know that smart, engaged people in every corner of the country are listening to shows like this one and know their stuff, and they want answers. And so they come to shows like this one to reach you. It is their hope. And my hope is that I can go and represent you as best I can and ask questions that I think you'd want answered. And I got to tell you, Ed, when we go to Capitol Hill Monday afternoon and sit down with some of these lawmakers, I'm going to have some questions, and I want to cobble some together, too. If you want to email them to me, if you want to post them on X, maybe you want to comment on Harump Society, I want to take your questions next week to Capitol Hill Republicans, because I got a lot of them, Ed. You know what I mean? Absolutely.
And people need to answer them, these members of Congress. Lots to answer
we need
for.
to hear why. People ask me, like, Elon is finding all this Doge garbage. Why? What are you doing about it? Social Security fraud. What are you doing about it? That's what I keep getting over and over. What are you doing? Well, here's the evidence. What are you doing, Republicans? Colonel Kurt Schlichter, I'm sure, is asking that same question. He will be with us in a mere matter of moments, as I understand it. He is the author of Silver Bullets on the Sunset Strip. He is a busy man, and always good to make time for us at this hour. Colonel, ahoy!
Ahoy! How are you doing?
Happy Friday. Los Angeles, Silver Bullets on the Sunset Strip, co-authored with his lovely wife, Irina. How's it selling? How's it going?
It's selling well. See, I'm tracking it as we speak. One of the benefits of technology. Of course, Irina should have joined me for this, but I said, well, you got to get up at 4:30 and it's video. And she says, so you mean basically get up at 2?
Yeah, so you just roll out of bed and put on a jacket. She doesn't have to.
With bedhead. I'm not even wearing pants.
Well, that makes two of us. Congratulations on the book. Again, tremendous. And by the way, I'd like to see by the end of this segment people all over the country that I was just talking and bragging about. Maybe they go get Los Angeles, Silver Bullets on the Sunset Strip. Let's watch the sales tick up live here on the show.
We will check that out. I will track.
All right.
As we speak.
Let me ask you this question. This is a sincere question. Monday, we're going to Capitol Hill to talk to Republicans. I hope they're going to have something to say. You know what I mean?
Talk about a low bar. I think they'll be able to limbo under it.
They're not doing. It's like, I'm so tired of reading. Oh, did you hear what Pete Hegseth said? Ooh, it sounds like Elon and Besseter are upset with one another. It's like, what is this palace intrigue garbage? Why does Congress get to skate? Why is no one, including in our own tribe, talking about the responsibility of the boneheads on Capitol Hill, Kurt? It's driving me crazy.
Well, look, first of all, God, I'm going to get struck by lightning. I think they're doing a fine job in that they're not screwing up, and they're passing the reconciliation bills. They've managed to do that with a 3-seat majority. I mean, I didn't think Mike Johnson was capable of this, but you got to give credit where credit is due. He's got to corral everybody from Thomas Massey to Chip Roy to Don Bacon. How he ever got named after someone as awesome as Bacon, something as awesome as Bacon's beyond me. That's what you get when you get a general who's in the Air Force. But anyway,
yeah, representing Offutt Air Force Base, by the way. I said it's fitting because he obviously likes the pork. Hello,
nice.
I mean, that's what that's all about. That's what it's about, right? Thank you for that. Let's talk about that for a minute. Don Bacon, this Republican who's mouthing off about Pete Hegseth, he's in a district it's the only Nebraska district that didn't go for Trump. Offutt Air Force Base general. He's an institutional military guy, and they are trying to run Hegseth out on a rail. They're still Wall Street Journal hit piece again today. They're going back to the Hegseth well because the Trinidad Aragua crap wasn't working. Yeah.
Did you see it? He did Signalgate. No, wait. He did Signalgate. Signalgate. And I wrote about it on Tuesday. I did a special town hall column, which Don Jr. retweeted. Which was nice. For Don Jr. retweets something, you get some attention to it. I thought it was a particularly good one. Frankly, I think they're all particularly good because I'm pretty awesome. But Trump is not going to allow himself to be humiliated by sacrificing somebody. That's what they want. They don't care about Pete. Oh yeah, Chris. They're deeply concerned about sensitive information handling procedures. That's the guys who are like, here's America's war plan for, attacking Iraq. We're going to just put this on Iran. We're going to put this on the front page. But it's like, Hegseth, he was on.
But Colonel, it is you know this. It is the Pentagon, the Defense Department is a bipartisan slush fund, isn't it? Really? Yeah, and that's the concern.
It is, and they really want to get rid of this guy, and but they also really want to humiliate Donald Trump. And if Donald Trump is a little submissive, and if he volunteers to jump in the canoe with Ned Beatty and row down the river, they're going to make him squeal like a pig for the next 4 years. I don't see him doing that. And the nice thing is he just doesn't care. When all the right people get together and solemnly nod that so-and-so is a designated bad person for doing something that's only been bad today and won't be bad when they do it tomorrow, and it wasn't bad when they did it yesterday, he just doesn't care. And I think that's great.
Look, Colonel, the recruitment levels. I mean, by the way, Colonel Kurt Schlichter with us 3 times a week, fabulous town hall columnist, endorsed by Don Jr., and author of the brand new book called Los Angeles, Silver Bullets on the Sunset Strip, co-authored with his lovely wife, Irina. Military recruitment surges under Defense Secretary Hegseth. In every branch, it has surged by over 100% up in numbers. So I don't know. What's a sign of success for Pete Hegseth here?
Well, I was told by these same people who drove the recruiting numbers down to like garbage levels that the fault was America's youth who didn't want to serve. And it turns out they just didn't want to be led by a bunch of half-stepping fools like Lloyd Austin, that mediocrity. He was a mediocrity when he was a general, but he really talk about embodying the Peter principle. I mean, he was a bad general, but man, a defense secretary. I'm going to take off for a couple days, get some secret surgery, and when I come back, I'm going to be wearing a diving bell over my head.
You can give me Signalgate. Pete Hegseth could have put secret plans on a napkin at a TGI Fridays, and it would have offended me less than the Secretary of Defense taking off weeks and trying to keep it secret from the Commander in Chief. Like, I don't know how that wasn't a national scandal.
Well, first of all, they've rebranded TGI Fridays as Simply Fridays. But the real crime is they rebranded Mr. Pibb as just Pibb. He became non-binary. I don't know what the hell's going on here.
You had to misgender your soda.
Everything till we figure out what the hell's going on here.
Hey, you're going to love this. Let me pivot to this because you're going to love this. I don't know.
Are you going to pivot?
I'll pivot. Hello, pivot.
Because that's its pronoun.
The esteemed, the revered, thoughtful. What do you want to call him? I don't know what more I can say about George Clooney. George Clooney, the gift that keeps on giving. George Clooney gave an interview to Patti LuPone, because why not, the actress, and he said he said about Megyn Kelly. And I'm roughly paraphrasing here. I've been to Darfur, Sudan, Congo, and been shot at to get stories out. I don't know what she's ever done. Talking about Megyn Kelly and journalism.
More action than I have. First of all, we need to point out he's looking really wizened. Okay, I mean, look, it's 4:30 here. I'm not exactly fresh faced.
Looks what? Yeah,
wizened.
Wizened? Is that what you? What is that?
Wizened.
Define that one for me.
Look, he's crusty. He's looking bad.
The password is wizened. Well, the jet black hair dye. The jet black hair dye. What is that? Yeah. Why are we doing that now?
I don't know. That's not a thing.
Do you dye your hair jet black when you're in your 60s? I don't know if you do that or not. I mean, I got some grays in the beard.
You can do that, but you become that guy who goes and buys a Porsche at 64 and tries to date stewardesses. And everyone goes, your daughter's just lovely. And you're like, but that's my, Yeah, he's
100 days.
Just a silly man. And also him talking smack to Megyn Kelly. Oh, good plan. That's going to work out great for you.
Yeah, way to elevate her, by the way, George. In close, with about a minute to go, 100 Days of Trump. Give me your review.
Loving it. Look, and I have my town hall VIP video for today is basically buck up, buckos, because, I understand we're meeting obstacles. You didn't think we would. You didn't think we'd have some challenges. You didn't think we'd have some hassles. You didn't think they'd fight back. They're going to fight back. And yeah, you're supposed to be driven into despair. You are supposed to be sad and thinking, we just can't do anything. Nothing's ever going to work. Dude, we're hitting it like 75%. I don't watch baseball, although I went to a baseball game the other day and it was fun. But if you were hitting 75% of the balls, you'd be like Hank Aaron times Roberto Clemente, which are the only two baseball guys I know.
I'm not remotely unhappy with Donald Trump.
No.
I am very unhappy with congressional Republicans. I think they're too individualistic. I think there's too much ego, and they need to get out of it. If they don't get this done, they will have nothing to run on next year.
Well, that's true.
And that will be their fault if they don't.
So
get
they
this
will
done.
get this
but
done.
They'll get it done. All right. Colonel,
they're going to get
the brand new book, Los Angeles, which I bet if you look at it after this segment, you will have seen thousands and thousands and thousands sold. Los Angeles, Silver Bullets on the Sunset Strip, authored by Colonel Kurt Schlichter and his lovely wife, Irina. Colonel, God bless you. Thank you. Ahoy.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.